All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my podcast. It is late afternoon here in the Nevada area, and I have two guests today that happen to produce a wonderful venue and festival, both in Manila and Boracay. That's Boracay Dance Festival and Manila Dance Latin Dance Festival. If I want to be really exact because I think I did a festival there, dance festival. That's no longer the case. So I want them to go. That's another story, right? But please welcome Michael Winuski and Anna Palma. How are you guys?
Yeah, wow, Anna Palma. We should tell that story while we're doing this, by the way.
I almost call her Anna Padilla, but it's fine. Anna Palma, and then she has another. She has a long name.
Anna Rodel Palma. Well, this is the worst part. All her sisters are named Anna.
That's my
Are you
favorite.
serious?
With a different
Yes.
middle name. It's like,
We
oh
have
my
two
God.
names.
What were your parents thinking? So they're all Anna. That's just like George the boxer. All of his sons are named George. George.
They were counting. Anna Rochelle, Anna Rodelin, Anna.
So Anna Rodelin would be the right way to call her instead of Anna Palma, though.
I just call her Anna Palma. That's easy.
But what's going on in Manila, you guys? It's what are you on stage one, stage two, or what?
Oh no, we're like out of whatever the most severe version was. We're one step out of the most severe lockdown part. So
I
like
see.
people can still move around, but you gotta everything's got to be on, and there's limited movement and stuff like that. So
Aren't you supposed to have some type of lockdown or a curfew or something?
curfews at 10, and like you can't move between large areas. If I try to go to Quezon City, they'll check your papers, stuff like that. So
Wow, that's
outside of Manila, it's not that bad, but inside Manila, it's because it's very severe here. So.
wow. So yeah, Anna, when was the last time I saw you? I saw you last time was God, that's a long time ago. Last time was when you guys hosted me for a workshop. I think that's the last time I saw Anna.
That's 2018.
Yeah, something.
No.
Like that. No, that's too late. That's probably early 2000s, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. That was a long time. It must have been at least 8 years ago.
Yeah, and you guys weren't organizing a festival at that time yet. Yeah, that was the last time I've ever saw Anna actually. Yeah.
Congress.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, so in Manila right now, we're able to do private lessons, but that's it, no classes. And our private lessons have no air conditioning. All the doors and windows are open, so there's airflow. Um, that's it. As long as people agree with that. So some students won't come because they're like, it's too hot. But and then there's the hardcore who are like, yeah, I'm totally going. I want to sweat.
This hardcore, are they beginners?
Some of them are beginners, and then some of them have been around
Regulars.
for a while.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
they?
They're regular.
The regulars, yeah.
And your of course your social dancing events are not operating right now, right?
Oh yeah, no social dancing events for sure. Even if we wanted to, not that we would, they shut it down so fast and make your head spin. And be like, ah. Wait, let me talk about the festival real quick. So
Yeah,
our,
talk about it because I don't know. I know you guys had one last year, and then I don't know if you're gonna have one next year.
so the whole coronavirus thing hit Wuhan like a few months. I think it was November, December, right? So like 2 months before the festival was supposed to, because we were like, oh my God, what's going to happen? We didn't actually think anything was going to get shut down yet.
Right.
Then the closer we got, ours is at the end of Feb. The closer we got, we realized, oh my God, like this is really serious. So even when we were flying to Boracay, everybody had their masks on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that weekend, it was a successful weekend, but less people came. I think we got about half what we expected, about 200 people, let's say. But like the Chinese had been shut down, so Chinese couldn't fly anymore. And the Koreans came, but then they freaked out because that same weekend, the coronavirus like blossomed in Seoul, Korea. So all of a sudden the Koreans in our festival are freaking out. They're like, I don't know if we got to get back because they may not let us in when we try to fly
Right.
back.
Right. Right.
We were like, oh my God, this is crazy. But here's the weird thing about Boracay. And I want you to think about this. There have been no reported cases of coronavirus in Boracay.
No,
Zero.
well, wait, hold on. But the question is, are they there to really test them?
Right. Well, that's the thing. But the thing is, somebody should go in and at least have symptoms, right? But there's been zero. Well, here's the crazy thing. So there's zero. There was one guy, but he came from Manila when they reopened up. Here's the thing that's weird about Boracay, and you have to think about this, get it in your brain. It had 6 daily flights from Wuhan of Chinese tourists up until the middle of February. Now think about that. Wuhan had direct flights to Boracay with boatloads of tourists up until February, no cases of corona.
Look,
It makes you go, what happened there?
if we can name people that are so immune to any disease, it would be the people in the provinces. For sure.
That's the joke in the Philippines is like, in the rich areas, people have masks and stuff, but then all the people in the streets begging and all of the poor areas, none of them have masks, and their immune systems are through the roof because they've been through the shit,
But we all know this. I mean, we're smart enough to determine what the fuck is in disinformation and facts and all of that stuff. My whole opinion about this is it got into the bigger proportions and exaggerations and fear mongering and all of that stuff. Really, come on, guys. It's because if, like, let's see here in the United States, like, the Trump rally, a lot of people got infected. Okay, the next day there was a fucking peaceful protesters all over the place. They marched in Washington. There was no report.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, guys.
2 weeks later, that's it. 2 weeks later, you're like, what happened to all those people that are protesting? So
yeah. So,
but anyway, so back to just quickly about Boracay. So I think with Boracay, everything's outdoors. You're always in the sun, and the air is all what do you call it? Saturated with salt
crazy.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I heard that COVID is not good on heat, so that's probably it.
that could be part of it.
But you have to take into account Hawaii right now is so in trouble. So
what happened to Hawaii?
bro, they keep going back and forth. Now they're on the phase 1 where there's no one that are allowed to be in the beach right now.
Are you serious?
Lockdown, yeah. And you can't travel there. If you travel there, if you try to go there, they will put you in a 14-day quarantine.
Oh my God! Well, that's not a
14
bad place to be quarantined, though.
It's horrible. So I don't know. My impression, guys, is that after this election in United States, I think it's going to be just fine. I think we're going to go back to normal.
Well, it's amazing when the protests spike and the resistance spikes and all this stuff and the rioters spike, that COVID seems to just disappear. Like all of a sudden you don't know where it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Here,
then there's that vaccine that Trump is definitely going to have the vaccines to be distributed before the election. That I can tell you, he has to do it. So.
I'm happy for that, but I'm still scared to take the vaccine. I want to wait about 6 months.
But you know how it is in the Philippines. I've never taken vaccine, even here in the United States. There's only one time that I've taken vaccine, and I don't even remember what it was. But I don't take vaccines. I mean, just to know what the ingredients of those, I don't even want to know. I have some guesses, So, but
I think they need better. That's the thing with the vaccines. I don't think they do a good job of promoting it properly. They just say go take it, but then they don't explain to you, like, you don't actually feel the effects. You just stay healthy. So it's like, okay, then why did I take this thing? So,
but you guys have invited some big names at your festival, whether it's kizomba or salsa and probably even bachata. But I know that Manila is big on kizomba right now. I guess because Filipinos love tango and they love ballroom. This is why salsa, street dance like salsa bachata is not as popular as opposed to ballroom. And then, of course, that kizomba, which just ties into tango thing. Yeah, you got some good artists. There's like Felician and Isabel and
Gwenda.
Yeah.
Helio Santos. What's that? Yeah. No, it's crazy about kizomba.
Let me ask Anna. Anna, did you cry when you took Kaizen workshop? Kaizen? Did you cry when you took Kaizen workshop? Because everybody cries at that workshop.
Actually, I did. Right.
There we go.
Yes.
Quenda is one. That's another guy. That's another.
Ask Michael. Okay, he was there also.
Oh, did you cry, Michael?
Of course, yeah. We were bawling. Oh my god. I had my partner at the time. We still have this like connection because of that one. Like you were crying, you had to hug your partner. Like and we see each other. We're like, oh, I just need a hug. From that time. So thanks, Quenda.
I think when I met the first time I met Quenda was in Cairo, Egypt, and I don't think he was teaching Kaizen at that time, but I took his workshop, and he was letting us stretch, right? Like this stretch, and all of a sudden I felt two hands in my back, applying some type of lotion or liniment. It's like, what the fuck? Is that Quenda? It's like, he's applying lotion to everyone in their lower back. Like, what kind of workshop is this, dude? But that's the first time I met the dude,
Quenda's really fun to have around. I mean, like as an artist, he's fun, but just the stuff he does outside of the classes and the workshops. It's so like when he went to Boracay, he showed up one day and he goes, "Oh, I have a monkey," and we're like, "Where did you find a monkey on the island?" He got so much crap from the other artists about that, but it's like, oh my god.
But you know how very spiritual Quenda is.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You find him meditating. When everything is quiet. He has certain regimen. He has certain hours to wake up and all of that stuff. I mean, the dude is so disciplined. It's like
That's what's amazing. It's like he's got that spiritual side. It's not scattered like a lot of people who are like spiritual, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
really focused, and it's like, wow, that's amazing to see. It's amazing to be around, actually. So.
yeah. It's the first time we met. Not the first time. The second time we met was in San Francisco. He was doing a workshop here. I gave him a book. Actually, I gave him Bruce Lee's book, like Jeet Kune Do, Tao of Jeet Kune Do. And he really loved it. Like he wrote me back like, dude, I love every word of this. I'm gonna keep this. Like, yeah, I figured you're gonna like that stuff, dude. But was he expensive? He was expensive here, bro.
We were lucky because we got him way before everybody knew kind of who he was.
Good.
But after that, he became really
No,
expensive.
because of Benedict also, Erwin.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
they're good friends.
Yeah,
So that's
so
why
Oh,
one of
you're
his-
good friends, yeah. It's always
That's-
good to have this connection. Yeah, that's good.
Let's
Who
see
else
what-
have you guys brought that that made some unforgettable moments in the festival?
There was Leon Rose, who got arrested 4 hours after he arrived. That was always good.
Why? Why?
Yeah, there's a guy. So Leon Rose and another Joker called Alex
Alex.
Teodorescu, they showed up and they were down. They got arrested in the red light district. It was. I was like, this is nuts. And we literally had to show up at the police station with a poster, and we're like, no, he's one of our artists. You have to let him out. And I remember it was unforgettable because after that he did a performance with Dottie, and I've never seen this anywhere else. His pants broke, like the zipper and the button split, and it started coming down in the middle of the performance. So we were like,
First
"Oh
time.
my god!" I've never seen that in my life. So I was like, Leon,
But Leon is a character, dude. I know he does some martial arts too, by the way, but he's
Yeah.
a freaking character.
no, he's an entertainer. He's a celebrity. Actually, you know what? When we invited him, I used to say we don't give him money necessary for the workshops because
Yeah.
what he does when he comes to the festival is like, dude, he's the after party. Actually, he's not. He's the before and the after party. He's on the beach drinking all day,
I
and
mean,
then at
dude,
night,
I mean,
he's-
Boracay, there's so many ideas that you could do in that festival when it comes to, pre-party, after party,
Oh my God.
dude, because it's so open, right? It's so
Yeah.
open as opposed to Manila, But
Yes.
the brilliant thing that you both did is not only Boracay, although people could fly there directly from United States or Europe, right? But you have this via Manila thing, which is okay because I think if they need to get to know the Philippines, they really need to get to Manila in the first place, right? Whether they're going to be there first or they're going to be there last. I think that's a brilliant thing that you guys do some events prior to Boracay, before Boracay, I should say. So, I mean, how do you guys do that in Manila, though? I mean, do you have a assigned hotel, or you just do that in the venue, in the building in front of your M session, bro? Is that the building you usually rent?
Oh, there's a few venues to rent. The way we usually work it is that if it's only a few artists, or the big artists, they usually stay in my house, and then the other
Oh,
artists.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And then there's some small venues. But yeah, usually we just find whatever venue we can use and then try to dress it up so it's fun to go to, you know. So.
Yeah, I like the idea of Manila plus Boracay. It's really a good thing. Especially, the only trouble there is that it's not as convenient because you have to take another plane, right? That's the
Yes.
only inconvenience there, but that's just the way it is. The good parts in the Philippines, you have to fly. You know?
That's the one thing we have to tell everybody who comes. We're like, look, you're traveling to a third world country, so expect third world travel conditions.
Not to
If
mention
something
island.
goes wrong, right? If something goes wrong, just deal with it. You're not going to fix it. You're not going to call for the manager and get anything done. You're gonna have to work your way around it. And actually, I worry about Americans, especially Californians and Hawaii, because they don't know how to deal with it sometimes, right? I worry about some of the Europeans I worry about from the northern countries. But when it's Indians or Latinos, no problem. They're like, we know what to do. The bus broke down. All right, we're gonna walk, you know.
You know that? Let's fix this damn thing. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell Rodney the story about Frankie Martinez and APEC.
Wait. You guys invited Frankie?
Nice.
Twice.
That's another jewel right there, guys. That's
Yeah,
one of the
Frankie's
best
the best.
teacher ever. Yeah.
That's it. He is such an amazing teacher, right?
Oh, I love him.
But so the first time we invited him, we had the double festival, Manila Boracay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and somebody had warned us about this, but we didn't listen, there's something called APEC, which is a big economic forum, and all the world leaders come to this forum. So at that time, it was Obama and Putin and the I forgot, Xi from China. Everybody was there, including the Indian. Well, they shut down the whole city. I mean, they shut it down. So they were telling us about a month before, we're not going to cancel any flights. We're not going to cancel any flights. They canceled almost 4,000 flights.
4 months before the festival.
Coming in and out of Manila and to Boracay. So I wrote everybody. I wrote all the artists. I wrote people who were coming. I said, guys, this APEC thing is going to screw up the festival because you can't. It's hard to get in and out.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm on the verge of just rescheduling this because it's going to be hard for some. Everybody wrote back, no, do not cancel. We're coming. It doesn't matter. So I'm like, oh my God, whatever. Anyway, so Frankie comes in on the flight and I'm like, if he gets stopped in Hong Kong and they turn him around, I'm so screwed. And that whole night, we had a pre-party that night.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy 1 minute of that pre-party because I was like the land. I was like, God damn it.
I mean, the question is, do you really enjoy the festival during? I don't, dude. I'm so busy,
It's the most fun when I look back on it, but it's so stressful when you're doing it. You're like, God damn it. Wait, so that's not all that happens. So I'm stressed out during the pre-party, and then I go with Gupson. You know Gupson Pierre?
Yeah, Gupson.
I go with him to the airport and we pick up Frankie. I'm like, thank God Frankie and Aisha arrived. The big artists are here. We don't have any problems anymore. And then they cancel all the flights from Manila to Boracay. So I'm like,
no.
What am I going to tell these people? They all flew into Manila and now we can't get to Boracay. So we have to pull it out of the seat of our pants, and we rent 2 buses to take us to the cruise, to this big cruise ship that'll take. It's a night cruise to Boracay.
Okay, it's an overnight. Yeah.
It's like 10 hours.
So we ended up taking 200 or 300 people on all these buses. Every bus had a DJ. It's a 2-hour bus ride, by the way, on provincial roads.
Oh man.
And then we get on this boat, and the boat is a dual purpose boat. It's got cabins, but it also has storage. So they were loading dump trucks and cranes, and then
my God.
Yeah, it was, oh my God. I'm like, what the hell? This is crazy. But they were all enjoying it because for them it was an adventure. And
There's only one solution to that, by the way, bro. There's only one solution. Have your family buy a fucking commercial flight. That's it.
No, yeah, that was the plan. I was like, we can get a flight or we can, but it turned out that the boat was so much cheaper that we're like, let's do the boat because it's so much easier.
Or just buy the plane as an investment.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell?
You know?
But this is the best part. So we get on the boat. I got everybody situated in, and I go up, and there's a big helicopter pad which they turned into like a dance area, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, awesome, we can have an overnight thing. And then thank God for Frankie walks up. He's like, dude, can I DJ on the helicopter pad? I'm like, totally, just go ahead and DJ.
Yeah, you can DJ. Yeah.
I was like, this is so awesome.
No, band versus we
okay.
get rid of
So
the band.
somebody's like, it was like the corner band. They hired this band from the Canto to play on the boat. And I told
Really?
them,
Latin?
Yeah.
Latin
no,
band?
it wasn't Latin. It was like the worst Filipino Canto karaoke you've ever heard in your life. I mean, off key. So I asked the people on board, I said, look, we brought like 200 or 300 people, so can we take over this later on? And they said, yeah, after the band. And the band kept playing.
And we
playing.
cannot wait, so we paid.
And this is, I mean, if you listen,
They probably did it on purpose too.
no, but if you listen to 1 minute, you would have your face would have been like this, like, oh my God, I can't stand this. This people can't sing, they can't play their instruments, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And finally, after like an hour or two, and I was already bugging the manager, everybody revolted. Like they stood up and they said, no, the band's getting off.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
That sucks. Okay, I'm dying to ask this question because I've known you guys for a while, but then when I've known you guys, you weren't organizing festival yet. Although I had a suspicion that Michael was up to something because he was asking me all these kinds of questions about how to do it. I was like, he's into something. But how did you two meet? And then when you two meet, maybe it's dancing stuff, instruction, whatever. Then how did you develop the idea of we could do a festival here?
Well, originally what happened was in one of my restaurants, I had started a salsa night.
Right, the M session, right?
Yeah, M sessions. And then and then I met this guy named Mar, and Mar was like, you got to meet Ana Palma. You got to meet Ana Palma and her group. So finally she showed up and she brought her group and they were dancing. And then I got it in my head. I said, yeah, that's how I met her. It was through this thing. But I just knew her as this dancer. And then she came to me and she said, Mike, I'm preparing this performance group for the Hong Kong festival, and I need a place to rehearse. Do you know a place that we can use? So I said, yeah, you can use my apartment to rehearse, and then in trade, just teach me how to dance salsa. So, and you can imagine how stupid that is. I'm running an event, and I don't know how to dance.
You attended our workshop.
Oh well, that's the other. No, so I had started the event. I attended their workshop, but I didn't really know her at that time. I was just trying to. Okay, wait. I walk into that room. She had a partner named Anton at the time. And I said, hey, you guys are the On2 salsa people. I came to dance and stuff. And I'm like, I'm holding my money. And I go up to Anna and I'm like, how much is the class? She's like, don't give me the money. Don't give me the money. I don't handle the money. I'm like, I remember I got mad because I just come from New York. I'm like, you have to, look, this is your business, right? Here, take my money. She wouldn't take my money.
That's a funny moment in itself. Jeez.
Gee whiz.
Because we have a secretary and you keep asking me, you keep paying me.
You're still in the class. Just take the money. It was only
I would have done the same thing too, by the way, Michael. I would have done the same thing if somebody collects it.
I was all in a huff because I was like, isn't it your business? This is what you're doing as a business. Take my money.
That's so hilarious. And at that time, by the way, at that time, you lived in the Philippines already, or just?
That was 2008. I had left after the whole collapse in 2008. I thought, New York's not for me anymore, so I came back to the Philippines.
Yeah.
So,
and now, Anna, how did you start dancing, though? Were you always a ballroom person first, or what?
I was dancing already ever since when I was still a baby. Inside my mom's.
It's the typical Filipino,
ethnic dancer.
The traditional type of Filipino dance, tinikling and all of that stuff, right?
And then I was also a competitor in a ballroom.
Yeah, in the ballroom.
What
Yeah.
happened to hip hop?
That was before when I was still a kid.
Now tell them about your mom and wanting to take ballet lessons.
What ballet lesson?
You wanted to take dance lessons and your mom wouldn't let you.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want me to. I want to be a choreographer actually. I want to fly to Manila, and they don't want me to go, and they cannot afford. So I finished the commerce and all that, and then I have like 4 courses that I have finished. But I don't want to work in a bank. I don't want to
Right.
work in like with a boss. I don't like it. So after college, I flew here in Manila, and then I started teaching already, like just teaching birthday dance. What do you call that? The 18
Quinceañera
roses,
type. Quinceañera.
something like that.
Debut.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So that was my first gig here in Manila. And then a friend of mine named Rhea, who was the one who taught me ballroom dancing, and then she introduced me to a club with this a ballroom dance manager who's hiring a dance instructors. So
Yeah.
that was my first job here in Manila. And
How,
then
how did you get into salsa though?
oh, during my competition time, I met this guy, Anton Berchenko,
Mm.
French. He's teaching also on too, and he was with the other group, like what's in it?
Salsa
Christine,
Manila.
yes, Salsa Manila,
Mm.
Christine, Rita, and others. So this guy went to a ballroom club, and then he didn't know that most of the people who dance have partners. So he danced with me, and then just keep dancing with me, and then he didn't know, hey, I have a client.
Not one of the DI.
Yes. So yes, that time. And then and that's also a sponsor. So I cannot just dance with anybody
Right.
without
Right.
ask my sponsor to dance with you, of course. So yes, that's not the first time I danced salsa, and then I love before I met Anton, I love mambo already.
But would you say, Anna, would you say that as good as you are as a follow, would you say that because of your ballroom background, that salsa was made it easier for you to learn it?
Not really, because they have different styles and different discipline.
Yeah.
Ballroom is very disciplined.
Right.
Salsa is not actually.
It's free. It's pretty much free
Yeah.
freestyle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love it. I just when I was dancing salsa, I just love the music and the feeling when you're dancing. Like you're free. You don't
Yeah.
have to follow anything. You can do anything with your body. I mean,
Yeah,
that's it.
I remember dancing with you the first time. I was actually surprised. Don't tell anyone. The other dancers probably gonna look at me and say, "Is that how you look at us?" No, that's not. I was actually surprised how good of a follow you were. I mean, you were adaptable to just everything I did. Because for me, when I dance, whether it's bachata or salsa,
Mhm.
it's the experience. It's the whole experience of whether it's a smooth lead, smooth follow. You were able to all to follow all of my leads and all of that, and it's so soft to lead you. I think that's the best compliment I'll ever give to you, Anna. It's very soft to lead you. I would be dancing with really bad follow. I would do cross body. I will fall down because that's how strong they are, and they're not supposed to do that. But yeah, uh, and Michael, now I know you started dancing by taking a workshop from her, right?
Oh
Or
yeah.
taking a lesson. Now, how did you? When did it occur to you that this shit is gonna be going on for you? I mean, oh, I love this dance. I want to continue.
Oh well, I basically I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. And I'm
Okay.
like, I'm gonna keep doing this until I can get it. That's why I made this trade with Anna. I told her, use my studio and just teach me, turn me into a dancer. I don't know how to dance. I don't know anything about it. And that's, well, here's the thing so I told Anna she could use my apartment to rehearse her group. And then and then she's supposed to teach me. So I don't ever remember actually taking lessons, which is kind of funny. She came in a week after they started rehearsing, and she said, "Mike, I got a problem." So she sits me down, right? And I'm like, "What? What could be so serious?" One of our guys couldn't do it, and I need somebody to replace him.
Oh,
I'm like,
great.
and then she's like, and we
That's for
and
Hong Kong.
we need it because we're going to be performing in Hong Kong in a month. And I'm like, what are you nuts? I just told you I've never danced before. So literally 1 month, they dumbed down the choreography like nobody. Like the choreography went from like up here down to like boom, like negative.
Oh, God.
And then, but a month later, I was in Hong Kong dancing on stage. So.
Now I see how you got hooked to this addiction. Yeah. Now,
It's fun.
I mean, it's one thing to get hooked in the salsa scene, in the social scene, right? The local one, right? It's another thing to get hooked in the international scene.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
whole different story.
Oh, man. It's
Girl,
no
that
wonder
time-
you never look back.
Rodney, you was also chasing a girl that time, and then
Of course, they always do.
That all happened before the events I started and meeting. That was like this girl. I was chasing this girl, and then not, the salsa stayed, but the girl left, and it was like, okay, now what? I got to get better at salsa since that's what was left.
But the good thing is, after like 1 month, he was really big. He was really, really big. But I mean, he lost a lot of weight maybe because of the stress.
Maybe because of the stress. But Anna, was consistent ba si Michael's practice
Before, yes.
before? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
before but when we start what's this, organizing,
Yeah.
yun, wala na rin.
It's
That's
a
true. The
little hard.
organizing killed it.
It's a little hard. I mean,
So he gained a lot of weight, me too, I gained
I
Actually,
see you
that's a
guys
good-
are doing you guys are doing two festivals at the same time. Now, think about that. If you're doing 6 a year like I do, it's
Yeah.
a pain in the
It's
ass.
crazy.
It's you already know how you don't sleep. You already know how stressful it is. Why can't you sleep? Because some people will wake you up. Your artist will wake you up, and they need something.
Yeah.
plus you have to keep answering emails.
And you know what's funny about it is when you're organizing a festival, as stressful as it gets, even if you get up and you're completely stressed out, there's a part of your brain that knows there's nothing else you'd rather be doing than doing whatever it is that you need to be doing.
But bro, I think for us, that's part of the Filipino culture. I think it's about inviting all of your friends like a house party, and you want everyone to be happy. It's that mentality that we have.
Everybody needs to have a good time, damn it.
Yeah, it's true.
I always tell Anna, I'm always jealous of Rodney because like you bring an artist and I think you bring him in for like maybe their plane flight is $300, right? You put them up someplace and it doesn't not that much, but we fly somebody to the Philippines aside from the TF. It's $1,000, $1,500.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Oh my God. And sometimes that's not even a round trip. That's one way.
Yeah. Like for example, the one I organized in Hawaii, the Dominican Expo. I changed the title to Dominican Expo now. The artist that works for me there doesn't get paid. It's just that they've never been to Hawaii. So, so I pay for their flight, their hotels, and food. That's it.
That's great.
I wouldn't. I mean, if I was a regular person, I've never been. I'm not gonna say no. That's a vacation.
You gotta find ways to make it work. That's a way, and then you gotta do that with the artist. Dude, I can't. I have no more budget, but I can do this for you. And they're like, okay, I'm coming. So,
Have you guys made some good friendship with some of the artists already? But with the years that you've been organizing.
oh yeah,
All
all the artists. You
artists,
keep in
yeah.
touch with them. You see them overseas.
Yes.
I mean, and that's
We
one of the
talk,
best parts. So
like it's regular. Yeah, we talk.
No, that's a
normally.
good thing because when you have this connection, like I've been doing this for so many years, I can't even remember. You develop a friendship. They know whether one of your festival that they're teaching at is either successful or not. And one thing that you can tell is that, look, you guys didn't do well. If you have anything to give me, you can give me. But if you don't worry about it. those are the type of people I re-invite a lot, and I make sure
Yeah,
I take care of them, you
Yes.
know.
that's who comes back all the time, you know, because you know you can work with them, and
Yeah.
they know they know that stuff happens in a festival. You know, sometimes things go sideways. So,
But have
And
you guys dealt with some divas also though?
oh yeah.
Don't mention any names, but don't mention any names.
yeah, no, but
What-
they always do it every time
So,
they
but
talk.
Anna's pretty good at being a diva. So there's kind of this
So
this
it's not
thing that happens.
it's not a problem.
Not a
And I'm
problem. Okay.
the nice guy, and she's the you know what,
She's the
right?
bad cup. You're the good, she's the bad cup. You're the good cup. There you go. That works.
But they always come to me, Mike, can I get this or can I do this or da, 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 da. I'm like, ask Anna, and then all of a sudden there's no question, right? Because it's been answered.
It's the same thing. I do that with my wife. I'm the good cup. My wife is the bad cup. So it's no problem, you know.
Actually, if I didn't have Anna as an organizing partner, that I couldn't have done the festivals. It's hard when you're by yourself, you know. So,
We're pretty much the same, Michael. I think that, like for me, I'm just a visionary guy. I'm just an idea guy, you know. Management is another fucking art, you know. It's another art, you know. And
yeah.
and you gotta have this type of people at any organization for that matter, you know.
And by the way, when you get Anna, she comes with about 6 other Annas that become a little workforce.
That's great. Now, I know one of you guys, the two of you need to visit one of my festival here. Unfortunately, after that Boracay experience I've ever had, I'll never organize a festival outside of the United States again.
Oh,
So
well, don't say never. You never know.
I organized one in Dominican Republic, Lithuania, and then Boracay. That was the last draw. It's just such it's a different scenario and different types of people you need to deal with that you can't trust.
Wait,
So,
Rodney, I met you almost 10 years ago, and I remember that first time I met you, you said the exact same thing.
yeah. Dude,
Anyway.
not outside of the USA. Fuck it, no. USA I could handle, bro, but not.
No, what I'm
outside.
saying is, I met you 10 years ago. You said you would never do another outside festival, and then you did it anyway. I was like, what's he doing? I don't understand.
Yeah, that Boracay thing.
It's addictive. It's
One
so
of these days, I'll tell you the whole story because I remember you guys inviting me to dinner after the festival. I just didn't. I was not in the right mind at that time. There was no.
hard. Okay, let me just say, we were laughing at your Facebook post because we could see the change in your face through the posts until you just completely disappeared from the photos. And we're just like,
You guys are so bad.
that's the way it works, right? You're like, what happened to the festival? We couldn't.
That's the reason you asked me for dinner. You were feeling sorry for me, you bastard.
Invited to dinner? That looks like it was sideways, man.
That was something else. Yeah. If I do though, Michael, if I do, I'm the only one who's gonna do it. Maybe that's fair. Maybe that's fair. It is fucking hard, you know.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. So
It's
We'll
just
see.
it's just hard.
Anna said yesterday the Philippines basically was saying 2022 before anything really happens. So, and right now, like my uncle just tried to, he lives in New Jersey. He got stuck here during COVID. He tried to fly back to New Jersey, and I think his flight was like $4,000.
Yeah,
To
it's
go
very
back.
expensive. I checked the flights right now. The hotels are so cheap right now there, but the flights,
Yeah.
yeah.
Forget it. You're not gonna do that.
Even Shang, you can get it like $150 a night. That's so cheap, you know. It's like,
You
yeah.
might get quarantined for 2 weeks. You know, that's the worst part. So,
well, yeah, you have to stay in the hotel. So that's a waste of money.
not only that, if something happens and you fly back, let's say you come from the U.S. and then you fly back, you might get quarantined going back. So you've just basically it's a month just to visit the Philippines. You know?
What's your plan next year, though? Because I noticed that this year you didn't really invite artists, right?
Right.
Internationally. So what's your plan next year? Are you guys going to invite some artists depending on the COVID situation?
Right now, it's just a dance weekend. It's about
Yeah.
4 days of dancing. We have a resort that we use. You can dance on the sand in the outdoors.
Same,
And
yes.
huh?
Same as last
Same,
year.
yeah.
And
And
this year.
and that's it. And it's the same as last year. Like we're not going to invite artists. The artists still showed up, by the way. Like they organized them.
I'm
It was
not
funny.
surprised. I'm not surprised. Yeah.
they organized themselves, and we said, sure, well, if you guys want to do workshops, that's fine. And then we ended up having artists anyway. We're like, what happened? We didn't plan this.
Yeah,
Yeah, that usually happens.
if we do it again, maybe just one or two artists, but or no, we're not going to invite artists because some wants to come and then wants to give workshops. I mean, we can give them we can offer them a food or accommodation, but that's it.
But when it comes to the crowd that you guys have, whether it's in Manila or the entire festival in itself, including Boracay, of course, right? What type of diversity do you guys have? Is it usually local or from Manila, or you get people from other countries?
80% international.
Are you serious? Really? 80% international, huh?
So
Whether there are A-list artists or not.
Well, no, yeah, actually with A-list artists, it's still going to be, it'll probably go up to 85-90% international. So we get a lot of people from Asia. We get the Koreans, some Taiwanese, sometimes Singaporeans, sometimes Malaysians, but a lot of people, a big portion are from the U.S. or Europe. So
that's surprising. Yeah.
So ours is really a destination. It's really a destination festival. Like, it's not about the local community. There's no dancing in Boracay. So
right.
You meet the Manila people who come because they're part of our group, but yeah, it's mostly international people that go to Boracay. It's an international festival, basically. So.
Yeah. So, but okay. So now let's talk about local stuff like Manila. Last time I was there, you guys have some socials almost every night, really. If you think about it, you got some Cuban there, and then you got the regular salsa stuff, right? Does that still happen in Manila for the entire week?
Before COVID, yes. We had every night there was a
or two events in one night.
Sometimes, yeah, some people try to do another event. And we're like, okay, good luck with that. So it's not big enough to split up two events in one night.
Not like San Francisco. We would have 6 clubs packed on the same night.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing that's nuts. I remember I had this conversation with you. Like, if you come to the Philippines, expect to go to an event and have to dance all the dances. Like, it's SBK plus a little bit of swing plus God knows whatever they ask for. So, and you can't, and they don't want to, like, if it was salsa all night, they would leave. If it was bachata all night, they would leave. So, and I know in the States,
yeah,
you can't do that, right?
That's a different thing. If you have a small community like that happens, you have to include everything.
Yeah.
San Francisco, the 6 clubs I told you, they're very specific. Cuban, only Cuban, salseros right here. Oh, only bachata dominicana right here. Very specific. It's a little hard to mix, man, because they'll complain. They kind of like spoiled in that situation because of the massive amount of dancers in the Bay Area. But it's good to know because a lot of people goes to Philippines now as either tourist or business, and they look for social dancing like that, and one of the best social I've seen, really, because it's outdoorsy type. It's a semi thing in your M session. Ladies and gentlemen, M session is a restaurant in the Greenbelt area in Makati, I believe. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a good session because they have an outdoor patio there, and then they have the inside just in case you can't stand the heat or whatever. It's aircon inside, but both of it I really had a good time. That's probably my favorite spot that you own, that I really had fun time with. Not to mention the food. I mean, I've seen your business meeting, dude. You took me to one. You guys decide what food, what kind of thing. It's like, these guys are really serious shit, man.
Yeah.
They mean business when it comes to preparing menus, the type of food. And it's no question that even my wife really liked the food that she was able to partake in some of your restaurant there. And my wife is a food critic, bro. She is a food critic. So
that place, unfortunately, that place is shut down.
Which one?
It's not M. It's called M Cafe. So we gave up the lease. It's gone.
Bro, you gave that up? That's my favorite spot, man.
the rent went up too high. That's the problem. So.
Oh, really? So, okay. So, did you have an alternative, or you just opened
Oh,
just the
yeah.
other restaurants, right?
We had all kinds of other restaurants. So.
Mm.
But yeah, I missed that place. It was a good place for salsa. So and dancing was just amazing. So I
Yeah.
also think you might not remember it as well because I remember I gave you quite a lot of drinks that night.
Whatever it was, dude. You know, my hotel was just around the block, so that was not a problem, right? But one thing that I'll never forget, and I always tell this story. I know Michael doesn't mind. I think I already told this to Anna, but to the people that are watching, when Michael and Anna hosted me to teach workshops, several workshops during the week, because I was there for a week or something, and I was just looking for hotels really to do business with. But he keeps taking me to all of these restaurants, and he keeps treating me. He kept paying for me, right? I was like, this guy's the most generous guy I've ever met. It's like, okay, next time we go out, I'm going to treat him, right? So, not knowing, it's like, he took me to this restaurant. We had breakfast. I was like, okay, this is great. Okay, let me pay this time, Michael. It's like, bro, you don't have to pay. I own the place. The restaurant he's been taking me to are all the restaurants that his family owned. and here I was feeling guilty. It's like, that's the reason I always tell that sort of thing. Oh, shit. I was like, I didn't know.
Well, but you reciprocated. When I went to San Francisco, we had that late night, like,
Where did we go? Did we go to a casino, right?
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. But they had all Filipino food on the menu. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, he was just, but knowing Michael, the type of food that he eats in his restaurant, how fancy it is, that restaurant in the casino he was just ordering the most simple thing. It's like that makes sense.
The problem with the restaurant sometimes is they don't make it simple enough. Like, I like simple Filipino food. So if it's not simple, I'm more than happy. I don't, sometimes because my brother actually runs the restaurant. And I'm like, dude, you just made it too complicated. It's like from California now, but it's not Filipino food.
What's your family's plan? Are they planning to open a restaurant outside of the Philippines at all?
We'll see. It depends. We don't really have a home base outside of the Philippines anymore, so it's probably maybe Singapore or Taiwan or something like that. So
not in the USA. California is very big on it. You know, it's just
too far. It's too far away from where we're based.
And too many competition for sure.
Yeah.
But Singapore would be probably a good idea.
Yeah,
It's
something like
just a
that.
matter whether typical restaurants there is pretty much outdoor. So, but
That's the thing. Well, I'd love to open one just for dancing in Manila. That'd be great. When this whole thing blows over.
depends on what spot. That spot in Makati that you had, that really was a good spot, dude. Because it's nearby to all of the major hotels, which would work, Yeah. The only side part is I was across you. I cannot cross. I have to fucking.
That's right. You have to walk around, right? That's what's funny. I love that area. But we were able to bring it up. So a lot of restaurants approached us and said, "Hey, can we organize something in our space?" And we found a lot of good, those good underground spots that are kind of out of the way but are really nice. Yeah, we found a lot of those places.
On a good night, guys, in your social scene, like nighttime, right? On a good night, how many people do you have?
Oh, not more than 100.
Okay.
Maybe 100.
Is that basically a typical thing in every social?
It's 100.
Yeah. And the venues can't hold more than 100, honestly.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Oh.
I was telling Anna about the Gregory Hines studio that you hold your thing, and I'm like,
Berkeley?
dude, like 300 people, and he had to stop people from coming because the fire marshal was gonna shut him down.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're lucky if we get 100.
I love that place because when you go inside, you would think it's a club, but it's a studio. So I love the combination of it,
And it's a nice studio. I remember I hung out in the lobby with you guys. I'm like, this is a fun studio to hang out in, man.
It really is, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna happen again, though. It's gonna be completely different if I were to do it again in the Bay Area after this pandemic. I mean, even my festivals are in shambles right now because, like, Hawaii is supposedly happening in October, and then my New Year event, which is in San Diego, supposedly happening on December 31st, but the hotel are so not in 100% operation right now, and so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to end up canceling the whole thing and probably restart May in Reno, which is the Reno Dance Expo.
I think
So
people are willing, they're still a little hesitant to go out probably. I mean, I would be in California. I'd be like, okay, I'm not sure. It's not that I wouldn't want to go out, but I'd be hesitant to show up at a place where there's 300 people because you don't know where they've been, right? So it's like, oh, that's just nuts.
yeah, it's usually like 300 or more type of people in social dancing in a given venue in California, and so that's especially in LA. If you look at LA right now, they always go back to square one, which is the phase one, because you know they really go at it, social dancing, no mask,
Yeah.
so
So,
it's really
so
fun.
do you have any events that are running right now? No events at
It's
all.
all online. Although
Mm.
there is one event in Modesto, I believe, but it's so not popular to a point that nobody knows. So therefore, maybe the authorities doesn't know or something. But
Yeah.
I see it on Facebook Live. So
I was imagining like if you try to do an event, you'd have to paint circles on the floor, and everybody would have to like if there's a couple, they'd have to stay in that circle. No throwing your partner all around the thing and showboating and stuff like
it's
that.
either that you build some type of big tube and you guys can all dance there.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
I'm sorry, honey, the space is so tight. Let's dance kizomba.
And you can only dance
No
with one.
salsa, but
That's the hard part. I saw Berlin. Berlin put out a little thing and they said they were going to have workshops, but you could not switch partners. You had to bring your own partner to the workshops. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like you can go to the workshop, but you have to bring a partner.
yeah.
People going to go or not? I'm not sure. I'm sure
But
they will, but
Berlin's a different story. Though Europe is a different ball game too. Really,
it's
really,
Germany, so it's like even.
really different. Yeah, yeah. There are several spots that I like there. Somewhere in London, really love the salsa bar. Really love that
Yeah.
spot. There's some spot in Netherlands, but they're so much into Dominican style in a certain area, which I love. But then when it comes to salsa, definitely London is my favorite when it comes to just the type of dancers that I love to hang out with.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, and the thing I like in London, and especially with the English, they just have a tradition of dancing that they kept up, and they don't. To them, it's a lot of it's imported actually.
yeah,
So to them, it's something that they. I remember when I went there and I got invited to like. First of all, there were like 15 socials in London
yeah,
of different things. It wasn't just salsa; it was salsa, bachata, Cuban,
right.
jive, and all kinds of stuff. And I remember I got invited to so many places. And they're like, "Oh, you can dance a little swing. Why don't you come to our swing dance? Or why don't you come to the
Yeah,
bachata place?"
yeah,
And then he'd show up and there'd be like 500 people there. I'm like, what the heck? This is
yeah.
a Tuesday night? What the?
It's true. It's true, man. So
I enjoyed London.
I've been meaning to ask this. So in your years of experience already, do you have any celebrities that are interested in the Latin dance at all? Not ballroom, salsa or bachata in
Yeah,
Manila at all?
there are some, but they go to socials only.
Uh, they
They're
don't.
also
They're not
beginners.
actually seriously learning
Yes.
it, huh? So I,
It's
I, I,
part of their repertoire. It's not so much like they add it to their abilities, but they don't think of it as their focus.
Like in
I know
Brussels.
because I could see it in the choreography, whether it's It Bulaga or something else. It's awful.
Well, that's different too. Sometimes it's a ballroom person
Yeah.
teaching.
But I wish that you guys are able to network with the powers that be, the celebs there, because it'd be great if you could somehow have a reality show in Manila about really specifically the salsa, not the ballroom, because it's a totally different demographic and crowd.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Mm-mm.
it'd be really great, and then if they can make a movie out of it, it'd be really nice.
You know what's fun? What's interesting here is that the part of the reason salsa didn't take hold in the beginning was people related it to ballroom, and they thought, oh, that's my Lola's dance.
Mm,
But there's enough of a generation gap that we were getting a lot of under 30 people coming in to dance salsa, and they weren't thinking this is my Lola's dance. They were just like, oh,
yeah.
this looks like fun. Um, Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But you know what I noticed is the older generation, they had, when I look at the old movies, they had some fantastic mambo dancers, like world class, like Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly type movement, and that made people want to dance. You know, when you had that level, especially when it was a big star that would be up on a movie screen, we don't really have that in the salsa scene right now. I mean, even some of the teachers, they're so focused on social dancing that if you put them up on stage, it's not going to draw the average, the normal crowd, right? It's going to be the
Yeah.
hardcore dance.
At least for one thing, the salsa scene in the United States is into a plateau. It's not really growing. It's not dying, but it's not growing.
Yeah.
As opposed to the bachata community, which is fucking growing like this, you know.
I understand that though. I know people hate it, but I love all those crazy, sappy, romantic bachatas and the crossovers and
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you know, I like the one that's the funniest one is called Dance Monkey. Have you heard the Dance Monkey bachata?
No, I have not heard of the Dance
There's
Monkey.
a pop song called Dance Monkey, and I remember people were coming up asking, "Can you play Dance Monkey?"
What the
And
fuck?
and it's a crazy song. So if you're out there, Google it. It's Dance Monkey Bachata, and it's the stupidest song in the world. But then I started dancing it, and I'm like, this actually kind of fits, even though it doesn't sound Dominican at all. It doesn't sound Latino, right?
Yeah.
So I understand why bachata keeps growing because the musicians are playing with the music.
Not just that, when it grows, like it's growing into different parts of the world, right?
Oh yeah,
They will always have some type of different version of it because it's a totally different culture. So
yeah.
it's a given that there will be some movements that they like and some movements that they would invent and all of that stuff, which is for me part of innovation of the whole dance, really, if you think about it. I used to think that it's an evolution thing, but you know, I don't like the term because when you have that term evolution of bachata, you still have to have some type of traceable original type of structure or movements, but you don't see that. Like sensual, for example, you will never see a trace of bachata there. That's why I treat like innovation of bachata. That's another thing. Okay, modern, you'd see some trace, like you know, Ataka Alimana, who really popularized bachata moderna, right? Because they have some salsa-ish. It's linear, like this, right? Whereas Dominican, you have this small space, and you don't leave that space. And of course, you have Central, which is both circular or linear or whatever, which is, you know, you have some zouk elements there too and all of that stuff. So for me, it's an innovation, and they all look great. You know,
Yeah.
especially when the A-list people are dancing it. You know, I personally prefer one, but I'd like to be able to dance all, you know. So
Here's the thing I think with the dances, like it's not that bachata looks or doesn't look good. It's the person dancing it who makes it look good or doesn't look or not look good, right? So don't say bachata sucks or bachata's the best. Say the dancer is not so good or the dancer's awesome.
agreed. That's the problem because the social media now is individually everyone has the opportunity to promote themselves and videotape themselves and acquire some certain friends on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and then they become popular. What happens there? And I was just talking to Gianna Montoya about this on the last episode about how the young ones and even the newbies are able to make themselves a star per se, you know, in a certain social media. And the problem with that is that their inner circle would praise them no matter how bad the technique is. So there's that freaking false hope and false confidence. And then they get into the dance floor and they kill somebody else by yanking their arms and everything else. That's the problem.
I'm gonna tell a Daniel Tarosa story. So
Yeah. Go ahead.
So okay, now I like Daniel, but he sometimes he spazzes out. So he came to one of our first Manila festivals,
Yeah.
and he was a photographer, right?
Yeah.
And he was doing this crazy ninja move where he'd face away from the partner and duck down, and then he would come back up.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it kind of it looked kind of cool, but
Wait. When he comes back up, is it close to the
Very
chest
close.
of the? Okay.
Very close. So he's dancing with one lady who's never been to a festival. He finally convinced her. He does the move and he smacks her right up the chin, like hard. like so, like Mike Tyson smacking you up the chin.
Ay.
We're like, oh my God, Daniel. And we felt so bad because the lady had to sit out the festival, you know, or
Oh
like,
no.
It was black all over.
oh yeah, it was like
Black
he
and
really
blue.
he nailed her in the face. We're like,
Oh my
Jesus.
God. See, that's the thing
And
because
I like Daniel, but you know that was just like, oh my God, what the hell?
yeah, and this is what I'm trying to implement on almost all of my festival too. In the first morning of workshop, we usually have stretching and fitness, right? I want to replace that to more of like an etiquette type of workshop, you know, the dance etiquette, because there's so many things that are so misunderstood. The way you ask somebody to dance, or whether you stink and you need to take a shower twice a day or something. I mean, those type of shit that happens at a festival, you know.
They used to teach it. Ballroom used to teach that stuff, right?
Oh, they do. They do for
Yeah.
sure. You know?
There's all that etiquette stuff.
And
So.
it's yeah.
Yeah, but well, I hope to hang out with you guys soon. I'll probably make a trip there in the Philippines after the pandemic because we have some
That'd be
property.
fun.
We have some properties there that needs to be taken
Pangasinan,
care of.
right?
Yeah, taken care of. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know it's. I was just going through the certain papers that my mom had kept about those properties, and you know it's probably time to decide amongst the siblings and what to do with it. You know?
Oh, and you should take care of it because, you know, like when my grandmother died, it was such a big hello, like all the properties, it was such a mess. It was like, oh my God, nothing's in order. We got to fix this. And it took
Yeah.
almost 2 years to get it sorted out. So,
I know. I mean, if I were to sell those properties, probably get a condo somewhere in Makati or something. It'd be nice. You know, I don't have to be there all the time. It's just a type of vacation type of thing. You know. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, depending, we'll see. The festivals, we'll also see. I mean,
how long do you think before your festivals can realistically start up, do you think?
I'm getting the impression that 2021 would be just the national artist, okay? Because I fear for the visas, not to mention if there's some quarantining going on or whatever, you know. But I say 2022 would be in full effect again. And my impression is that most promoters now, they're not going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be doing something different. Maybe there will be a ticket for just virtual, and then there will be a ticket for people that likes to be there in the festival itself. So I don't know, you know, that's my impression. That's what I'm thinking, you know. Uh, we'll see. What matters is the vaccine, brother. Whether the vaccine works or not, it's a symbolic thing. It's a hope, you know. So we'll see.
Hey, wait, I got an idea too. If the vaccine comes out and it seems to be working, right? You could then host vaccine dance parties. That's what- right?
Cross body lead, inject.
That's exactly it. So and the health people will love it. The medical people love it. It's all in one shot, right?
I agree. I agree, and I think that CDC would love that because it's part of the working together thing, the cooperation. I think
Yeah.
that and it would be a healthy thing, of course. Um, yeah, that's a good idea. It depends on whether the vaccine's available to everyone. I know the United States will be the first to get one, or Russia already put one, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
But they skip all of the steps, which is a problematic. And United States is almost there, but it's like politically motivated. But it doesn't matter to me. If it's a vaccine, it's a vaccine. I don't care, you know. So
So do you think you'll ever have at your events, that people will have to show proof? Do you think we'll ever get to that point? That they're either vaccinated or they
no,
had.
no, bro, I wouldn't do it because if that happens, I would have done it already for flus and influenzas back in the
Yeah.
day, you know, where people will be dancing with him. They go like, they go like that, and you don't fucking mind, you know why? Because he was not named Corona at that time. Come on, you know, it's I don't know, whatever, you know, and then after the festival, oh man, I'm sick. I got flu. I got it from the festival. It's not in the media, you know,
Yeah.
it's not being publicized, but they got so sick they can't walk. Yeah, you know how flu is, and so really, whether the vaccine will work or not, it's a symbolic thing. And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. If it gets the government out of everything, that'll be a good thing, right? Take
that's
out
the
the
problem.
lockdown.
It's so
Stuff.
it's been so politicized that it's terrible. It's just it got really, really big uh, to a point that it affected just about everything, especially in the entertainment industry, in our industry, where we do this full time. At least for me and some others, we never expected that the industry will close like that because we don't believe addiction will ever be closed, you know. And dance is an addiction. But shit, man, it was closed down. I was so surprised, you know.
No, it's like
But
the whole world got shut down at different points, right? It was like shutting down and opening up, shutting down, opening up.
so, guys, what are your website? Where can they find you? First, the festival, and then the social thing, or whatever it is that you guys do.
Salsa in Manila is the Facebook page.
Salsa in Manila. What about
Don't
the
forget,
website?
the website would be Boracay Latin Dance Festival.
Boracay Latin Dance Festival. But when it comes to pages and on social media, guys, it's called Salsa
Salsa.
in Manila, right? And of course, they could add Anna Rodalyn Palma there. That's her name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
won't
they
give
could
you.
add Michael Winuski, and that's hard to spell.
It's gonna be Ana Palma Salsa in Manila.
No, what I'll do is I'll put your Facebook account on the description in the Facebook. In that way, if they want to befriend you, they can befriend you,
Oh,
whether they're be artists or just an attendees. Because a lot of people are interested in Boracay. I honestly can tell you it's not my cup of tea. I
why?
like.
Why?
I
Because
tell
of
you
your.
why. I don't like. I don't like. Let me answer that question by comparing Hawaii to Boracay, bro. I like Hawaii because it's modernized.
Oh
I
yeah.
can walk concrete roads. Everything is modernized. With Boracay, bro, it's still, it's not even concrete. I'm not. It's not my cup of tea, dude. I'm a city guy. I'm a city boy, bro. You know? And so,
Well,
but a lot of my friends like that. You see? Yeah. So. Yeah, but
that's
anyway, it's great hanging out with you. This is the reason I do this because I'd like to talk to my friends that I haven't seen in a while. Uh,
yeah.
it's always good. Thank you, Michael, for always accommodating me every time I go to Manila. Really, there's only two friends that really accommodates me. They're you and Ernie Lopez, and I've been trying to have Ernie Lopez learn bachata. He's like, "Oh, I'll do it," but he likes athletic stuff like one of those Ironman thing. He's into that shit, and so he's not into dancing at all. So, but I've been trying to want him to dance because he'd be really great.
You
But
know, that's the one thing I think you need to introduce some sort of hip hop type of culture where they compete, and that might get those kind of guys into the dancing.
well, at that time, I had some concept, and if I ever do, I'd like to throw it to ABS-CBN, but well, they closed. You know, I mean, I had some connection there a little bit, but now they closed. Hey, what the fuck? But it would be some type of reality show that involves dancing that is a brilliant concept. It has to be a good concept because they're not even gonna pay attention to you if the concept is not that good or not original.
And
So
the thing is, you also need good dancers to headline it so that people see what, like, they have something to shoot for,
the
right?
the beauty thing about us being promoters like you guys is that if we can come up with a concept, whether it's gonna be on TV or whatever, the dancers come later because we're all connected. You see,
Yeah.
we have some connection with this fucking badass dancers, right? That's not a problem. So it's the concept and a way to get into that business, or meeting the right people and believing in the concept because that's another one. If they don't believe in the concept, then the pilot might be publicized and that's the end of it. It's
That's true.
unfortunate. But anyways, yeah, one of these days I'll probably go back to Boracay again. They scare me, man. Those type of people. You have to go to every station like this. Do they still do that?
Yeah, yeah.
You have to show your passport, a couple of meters away, you go to another station and they take your money. You go to another station and they take your money. Guess
What?
what?
What was
Even
this?
when you leave the fucking airport in Manila, they take your air money. Do they still
Yeah.
take that?
Wait, yeah. Oh, because you have a Filipino passport, right?
No, I have American passport. I don't have Filipino passport, bro.
Oh.
I was born here.
No, what I mean was, if you have a Filipino passport and you leave the Philippines, you pay for the privilege of being a Filipino citizen. You pay money to leave the country, which
That's
the
what
foreigners.
one of my students suggesting I should have a dual passport,
Yeah,
like a
it's
Philippine
useful.
passport or something. Yeah.
It's useful. So for
Is
just
it
for
really is it really useful? Is it?
well, it depends. It's useful in Asia if you're flying to like for instance, if I fly to Vietnam, I have to pay $50 because it's an American passport. And we had that little war, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're not too happy about that. But if you have a Filipino passport, no problem. You're through. So it's useful in certain countries. So. But you know what? Because you're such a first world city guy, I'm not sure like Vietnam or those other ASEAN countries might be.
Although
might be so useful.
I love going to Singapore and Malaysia, bro. It's once you
Yeah,
go to
but those are pretty
Singapore,
developed.
once I go to Singapore, I just take the bus to go to Malaysia.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how many hours? 4 or 5 hours or something. And I got some friends there, and if I ever want to teach a workshop, I got some studios there that are my friends, and the people are just really lovely to hang out with.
Oh yeah, they're
I
so
haven't been
relaxed.
to I haven't been to Vietnam yet, although I know one there that used to be a fiance of Jorge Elizondo, and she's a good dancer. She's one of the best salsa dancer there in Vietnam. Actually, I think she's the one who runs the Congress there.
Which one? There's two actually.
What's
Is
her
it,
name?
is it, Sao Mai?
That's her. That's her. Yeah.
She's little. She's tiny, right? We call her Shao
Yeah.
Mai.
But she's a great salsa dancer, man. I mean,
If you come out, you should like arrange your trips with us if you can, especially when you visit the different festivals. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun because every time I go to Asia, I make sure that I visit the neighboring countries. Because I mean, come on, right? That's just like visiting Europe. You're not just gonna go to UK. You gotta go everywhere and take the train or whatever, or take a half-hour flight. So it has to be planned. Number one, and number two, there has to be some type of purpose. When I go there. So, but anyway, it's great hanging out with both of you. I hope to see you again.
Yes.
Maybe this time we will hang out in the flesh. and not Zoom or whatever. And let's hope to God that this pandemic will be over because it's really affecting just about everyone, including your festivals and mine and our friends'. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this content, make sure you click like. And if you have not subscribed, just click the right side and click subscribe. We are few numbers away for having 2,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll get to that. When we get to that, it'd be great because we just started this 2 months ago. So anyways, guys, I will be tagging you once I post this, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you, Rodney. Good to see you again.
Bye, Rodney.
Go.
Bye, Anna.